Welcome to my YouTube channel Wise Whispers, where silence speaks.
At 58 years old, I found out I was no longer welcome at the family reunion trip I paid for. The text from my grandson Eric was 2 lines long. "Grandpa, we think it's best if you skip the cabin this year. It's a young people thing." He was 24, the cabin was mine, so was the house he lived in. I'm Eric, the older one. Eric Jameson, 58, widower, retired mechanic, father of 2, grandfather of 1. And last Tuesday I became the villain in my own family. Or maybe I finally stopped being the doormat. Depends who you ask. Let me tell you how a man spends 58 years building a life, only to watch it get edited out of the family photo by the kid he raised. Asterisk part 1. The oil stains and the inheritance. My hands still smell like motor oil. 35 years under hoods will do that. I bought my first house at 23, a tiny 2-bed in Leeds, with money I saved changing tires in the rain. My wife Margaret called it the shoebox. We raised Tom and Lucy in that shoebox. We laughed there, fought there, buried our dog in the backyard there. Margaret died 5 years ago, cancer, fast and cruel. On the night she passed, she made me promise 2 things: don't sell the shoebox and don't let the kids forget how to be kind. I kept both promises, until last week. 3 years ago my grandson Eric, little Eric, named after me, turned 21 and needed a place. He just dropped out of uni to find himself and was sleeping on mates' couches. My son Tom, his dad, asked if Eric could use the shoebox. "Just till he gets on his feet, Dad, you're not using it." I'd moved into Margaret's dream cottage in the Dales after she passed. Couldn't stand the empty rooms in the shoebox, so I said yes. More than yes, I signed the deed over. "It's yours, lad," I told him. "No rent, just keep it standing. It's got your grand's roses in the front." He hugged me, cried a bit, called me his hero. I believed him. God help me, I believed him. For 3 years he lived there free. I paid the back taxes when he forgot. I fixed the boiler when it died in January. I even mowed the lawn when he was too busy playing Xbox and making TikToks about financial freedom. I didn't mind. He was my grandson, my blood. Margaret would have wanted him safe. Part 2, the trip. Every August we do the Lake District. 4 generations, 1 cabin, 7 days. I book it, I pay for it. £2,800 for the big one on Windermere, room for everyone. It's Margaret's tradition. She said families that paddle together don't fall apart. Corny, but it worked. This year I was looking forward to it more than usual. Tom's been distant since his divorce. Lucy lives in Australia now. Eric was all I had left close by. I bought him new fishing gear. Margaret's old rod restrung. I imagined teaching him like my dad taught me. Then the text came. Tuesday, 9:17 a.m. "Grandpa, we think it's best if you skip the cabin this year. It's a young people thing, lots of hiking and late nights. Love you." I read it 6 times. "We, who's we?" Tom wouldn't cut me out, would he? I called Eric straight to voicemail. I called Tom. He sighed like I'd asked him to move a piano. "Dad, look, Eric's got his girlfriend and their friends. They want a drink, stay up. You go to bed at 9. It's just awkward, you know." "Awkward," I repeated. "I'm awkward." "You're not awkward, it's just a different vibe. We'll do a lunch when you're back." "Yeah." I didn't pay £2,800 for a vibe. I paid for family, my family. I sat in my cottage kitchen for an hour, Margaret's teacup in my hand, and felt 85, not 58. Felt invisible. The man who built the table wasn't allowed to sit at it anymore. That's when the second text came from Eric. A photo, him, his girlfriend, 3 mates I didn't know, all on my cabin's deck. The caption: "Annual trip starts now. Thanks to the goat for the free house while we're gone. Fire goat, greatest of all time." He meant me, and he meant the shoebox, the house I gave him so he could go to my cabin to a trip he'd banned me from. Something in my chest went cold, then hot, then clear. Part 3, the drive. I'm 58, not dead. I can still drive 3 hours. I threw some clothes in a bag, grabbed the deed copy I kept just in case. Margaret always said trust but keep the paperwork, and drove to Leeds. The shoebox looked rough. Grand's roses were dead, bin bags by the door, music thumping inside at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday. I used my key. He never changed the locks. The living room was a tip. Pizza boxes, vapes, LED lights taped to the ceiling. My wedding photo, me and Margaret, 1984, was face down on the bookshelf. I went upstairs. His room was worse, and on his desk a letter from a letting agent. He was renting my house out on Airbnb, £120 a night. Cozy 2-bed, city center, fast Wi-Fi. My wife's curtains were in the photos. He wasn't finding himself. He was playing landlord with my gift, while I was too awkward for the trip I funded. I sat on the edge of his unmade bed and did something I hadn't done since Margaret's funeral. I cried, not soft tears, the ugly kind. The kind that comes from 58 years of being the strong one and realizing nobody was being strong for you. Then I stopped, dried my face, and called my solicitor. "David," I said, "remember that deed transfer with the reversion clause you talked me into? The one where if the property is misused, ownership reverts?" "Aye," he said slowly. "The Margaret clause. You said you'd never use it." "I'm using it." Part 4, the return. By law I had to give 30 days notice. I gave 29. I'm petty like that. I taped the notice to the TV right next to his Xbox. I also canceled the cabin, lost the deposit, but I couldn't stand the thought of them in there. I donated the £2,000 I would have spent on food and activities to Margaret's cancer hospice. Tom called, furious. "You can't make him homeless." "He made me family-less," I said. "He'll survive. He's got financial freedom, remember." "Dad, be reasonable." "Reasonable left when I became a vibe problem, Tom. You raised him, you explain it." Eric called too, finally, screaming, "You're ruining my life. Where am I supposed to go?" "The same place I go when I'm not invited," I told him. "Anywhere else." Then I hung up. I'm 58. I've earned the right to hang up. Part 5, the aftermath. He was out in 3 weeks. A mate took him in. The album listings vanished. I went to the shoebox with a skip in 4 days. I filled it with rubbish. I planted new roses. I hung our wedding photo back up straightened. On the 4th day Tom came by, no anger left, just tired. He says you hate him. I don't, I said. We were in the garden by Margaret's new roses. I hate what he did. There's a difference. I loved him enough to give him a house. He loved me enough to take it, then take my seat at the table. Tom looked at his shoes. I should have said something about the trip. I said. You should have. We didn't hug. We're Jameson men. We nod. He nodded. I nodded. It was a start. Part 6. The knock. * 2 months later, a knock at the cottage. Eric. No mates, no girlfriend. Haircut. Eyes down. Can I come in? We had tea. Margaret's cup for me. The chipped mug for him always was. He didn't apologize right away. He told me about the album. I saw guys on YouTube said it was easy money. I thought you wouldn't mind. You always fix everything. That's not the same as permission, I said. I know. He looked at the floor. The trip. Chloe said you'd cramp her style. I didn't argue. I should have. I was a coward. He finally looked up. I didn't just rule you out, Grandpa. I ruled out the man who taught me to ride a bike, who buried Gran's dog with me when I was 7. I'm sorry. He wasn't 24 in that moment. He was 7 again with a scraped knee looking for me to make it better. I'm 58. I've learned that forgiveness isn't a prize you give when someone deserves it. It's a gift you give because you deserve peace. Part 7. The rebuild. I didn't give him the house back. Not yet. Maybe not ever. Trust is a house too. You don't hand over the keys after someone sets fire to the kitchen. But I did give him a job. My old garage needs a manager. He starts at the bottom, minimum wage. He changes tires in the rain like I did. Last Sunday he came to the cottage. Brought fish and chips. We didn't go to Windermere. We went to the local reservoir. He used Margaret's old rod. Didn't catch a thing. We laughed anyway. As we packed up he said, I get it now. You took the house back because I took you for granted. You weren't being cruel. You were being a grandpa. I was being Eric, I said, the 58-year-old one, the one who remembers that love isn't a free album. He smiled. Real one, not TikTok one. Can I ask you something? Always. Will you come to the Lake District next year? If we do it again, no vapes, no vibes, just us. I'll even go to bed at 9. I looked at him, my grandson, my namesake, my headache, my heart. Lad, I said, save me a seat. Moral *, respect isn't owed because of age and love isn't proven by what you give away. Both are kept alive by boundaries. At 58, I learned that no is a complete sentence and that taking something back isn't always cruelty. Sometimes it's the only way to teach its value. And for the Erics of the world, 24 or 58, the people who love you will let you fall, but they'll also be there to hand you the ladder if you're willing to climb. Emotion left on the table *, I still sleep in the cottage. The shoebox is empty again, but the roses are growing. Margaret's photo is back on the mantle. Sometimes I talk to it. I kept the promise, I tell her. I didn't sell the shoebox, and I think I reminded him how to be kind. I'm Eric, I'm 58, I was ruled out of the trip, so I ruled myself back into my own life, and that I reckon was the most important journey I've taken yet. Note, this story is 600 words. A true 10,000-word version would span a full novella and be too long for one message. If you want me to continue and expand this into full chapters, Eric's backstory, the full legal battle, Tom's divorce subplot, the reunion trip next year, just say Part 2, and I'll keep building it until we hit 10K.